The answer is take the win and run.
I get hung up on certain things.
I have OCD, Jake.
I mean, hi guys, my name's Jeff. I'm an equal opportunity lover. You guys know that.
But wouldn't the dog want to stay on the meat wagon?
You say you can convince the dog to hop off.
That's insane.
Yeah, I'm intelligent.
That's such a Jeff answer right there.
He's handsome, curly-haired, and Jewish, sitting right here.
Jeff, you are a golden retriever.
Hey, Jake, that's what you kids call that drip, right?
It was good despite the gastric consequences, but call me the crystal ball here, man. I'm getting everything right except my own picks. That's really, to me, a battle of two of the coaches with the best hair.
Welcome to the E Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Founded in 2013, the EHL is your next step on the path to college. Over the past decade, the EHL has established itself as the college placement leader on the East Coast. And now, here's your host, the commissioner of the Eastern Hockey League, Neil Ravin.
Thanks, Jim. With that, let's bring in Jeff and Jake, guys. Usually I get sick like around the showcase in December, but I am feeling it right now.
Same deal. Same.
Jason,
ducks fly together, baby. Ducks fly together.
Jason will laugh at this because this was a previous topic on a previous episode. I am blaming my kids in the sense of they brought it home from daycare.
Yep.
Okay, everyone got that? Like,
so daycare both gives and takes in your life.
Oh God, yeah, yes, because they come home, Jake, and Chase has, I think, possibly 6 water bottles, but he wants the drink from this one. And it's like okay,
it's just like a petri dish.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's children. It is kind of like everywhere and anywhere right now too. I feel like a ton of adults have everything under the sun too. So yeah, it's kind of impossible to not get.
Well, we confirmed this last night. We are in the dog days of winter, Jeff. So that's why, and we'll jump into it now with Around the E Show.
Let's take a look at what's going on around the E Show.
So yes, I brought up the dog days of winter last night, and then I had to check my accuracy because Jake said that he didn't know if we were in the dog days of winter technically, and according to the Google machine, that begins. It begins in mid-January, so we are literally in mid-January, right? It's 31 days, 16, easy math. Like we're right there, so it has begun.
We're in like the puppy stages of the dog days.
Yes.
So crawling. That was some good journalism on your work too, Neil. Well done. You remember from your classes at Quinnipiac as far as checking your sources, being correct.
Remember when you had to write a paper growing up, Jeff, and you had to like list your sources at the end of the paper?
Yeah,
that was always the dumbest part because it's like, oh my God, I should have done it on the fly when I was doing it, but then I didn't. So now I got to go find all those pages again. And
did you guys call them a bibliography or a works cited?
Works cited. Works cited
was what they called it when I got to school. Yeah.
Okay. Remember how you would stress about the paper and be like, if I don't get this grade, like I won't get fed tomorrow night. Like my parents will like hold back dinner.
My parents didn't care how I did at school. It was great.
So now you think back 20 years ago, whatever the number is, Jake, and the grade I got on the paper doesn't mean anything anymore. So, but tell that to high school me.
Yeah.
Neil's father is a dentist, strict restrictions for it. Trying to get that one in there.
All right, hold on. We are 3 minutes in, and there we go. Listen, that's this year's I'm from Maine on the podcast for those that have listened in all year. So
DMD,
but I was thinking about the dog days of summer, and it reminded me of that video of the high school football player who's asked to like give his opinions of the team, which I said to you guys last night, and he would like say the kid's name, Dawg. This kid's name, Dawg. Yeah. Like he just did it like 8 times. He's got all these dogs on the team, right? Obviously, dog is this new trend of you got that dog in you, right? I mean, I don't want to say it started with Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills, but people kind of always say it about Josh Allen. He's got that dog in him. So we're gonna play on those words this episode and use that theme, and we're gonna go EHL team by EHL team. Ooh. And say, in our opinions, who has to be a dog in these dog days of summer when the teams are fighting. Oh, sorry.
Summer?
Wish it was summer. It's only a balmy 19 out, right? Dog days of winter. Thank you, Jake.
We wouldn't have these colds if it was the dog days of
Yes,
summer.
where points are at a premium, and the last place team in each division doesn't make playoffs, and the battle for seeding is huge. So we're gonna go team by team.
Let's do it.
Where do you want to start?
I mean, do we go symmetrically? Do we start north all the way to south? Do you want to go up from the bottom to the north? It's up to you, Neil.
Let's go alphabetically for once.
Whoa.
Whoa, that's
But
a
but
twist.
Whoa.
by division.
Oh.
So central. Central alphabetically comes first, then east, then
Oh.
north, then south.
I thought we were gonna have to sort all the teams in alphabetical order, and that was gonna take in itself like 10 minutes of this podcast to do.
That would actually be a very good trivia question. Like, name the EHL teams in alphabetical order.
Throw it on the Jumbotron at Schneider Arena at the Frozen Finals. Hey,
That could be a really good trivia question.
go home with the swag
There's
bag.
Connecticut Northeaster. Is that first?
No, Boston teams are first.
Idiot. See, I would be able to do this. I just skipped over like half the league.
Yes. If you're talking EHL, it's the Boston teams. If you're talking EHLP, Jacob, A, Adirondack.
Yes. A, B,
No.
C, D, E.
But
This is not for me.
we're talking EHL. We're talking Central first. We'll keep it strictly alphabetical. Start with the Nor'easter, who enter this podcast, if you will, on a 7-game losing streak. They're in the playoffs still. Like they're in the third spot. For all intents and purposes, they're probably going to get in. It looks like if you had to predict, where they could finish, if they get really hot, they could potentially, fight for one of those 1-2 spots. But it looks like they're probably going to be 3. So who has to be a dog for the Nor'easter in the stretch run and into the postseason?
Well, some options here. You could go
Josh Petrini.
Oh,
Okay.
Josh Petrini.
Yeah, I mean, he's been up and down health-wise this year. Back and hopefully for good for the new year. Already 2 goals in 2 games back. So I think if he continues this trend, that'd be big. I mean, he's pretty close to a point per game player. And, I do think they have some good firepower up front along with like him, Bascom, Gavin Brandon. So I think there's definitely enough talent there to get them by, but they're going to go. He needs to go.
Okay.
I wanted to go Bascom, but probably Skillbeck being the captain, being a leader on the back end for Coach Heffernan. Age out, I was already committed to Western New England. He's already almost doubled his points from last year. He only got into 17 games last year and had 8 points, but already at 14 points in 24 games. But aggressive guy too, 48 PIMs. We love the PIMs, boys. We love the PIMs.
You do.
I do. I still play in a fantasy league that PIMs are a positive in a category, so maybe that's why too. So no, I know.
They gotta be negative, but go on.
That's why I draft Brady Kachuk every year because that guy's a monster. But anyways, back to the EHL.
Points and PIMs, yes.
Points on PIMs.
Yeah.
I think Skillbeck is a guy, I've talked to a lot of coaches and had a couple of referees talk to me about how he's really improved his game and how he's one of the most impressive guys on the ice for the Nor'easter. So I think he's got to continue to bring it on the ice and in the locker room as a leader.
Yeah. Jason Lorico for me, right? I mean, I think this team's going to go as far as he can carry them. And it wasn't his net per se last postseason, but he knows it's his net this postseason. And
Say the nickname. Say the nickname.
J-Lo, of
Thank you.
course. Of course. And of course, experience in the postseason. EHLP game title game 2 years ago, right? They fall behind 2-0 ways with the 87s. He doesn't give up a goal the rest of the way through double overtime. If that's the J-Lo they get, they can go a long way.
They still need to score goals, though. Can JLo score goals?
Listen.
921 save percentage. He's been doing his job. He's been doing about 3 goals or less for the last chunk of games, but they got to be able to score goals too. So,
yeah.
But I agree, Neil. That's a good point.
Connecticut Rough Riders.
Ooh, the Hosses.
Yes, they are in 4th place right now, with the Apple Court trying to make up that ground behind them. Who needs to be a dog for them, to stay in that spot and at least get their spot in the postseason?
There's a lot of guys that need to bring it for them. When you're feeling it in the standings like that, it can't just be one guy. But someone that I saw earlier in the year, and I guess he's still not back. I don't know if it's a season-end injury. Is Victor Gonzalez? I know that was a guy that I think he was the one that had he hurt his hand with his skate in the Walpole Showcase, and I don't think he's played since. He's only played 9 games, but he was a point per game guy, 8 points in 9 games, and then had 17 points last year. Yeah, and he hasn't played since November the 6th. So maybe that's a guy that could come back. I'm not sure if he's out for the year. I haven't been able to talk to Coach Brown or Lind in a while, but someone that would be huge, I'm sure, to get back, because I remember Brownie talking about him and how dynamic he was and how they had a lot of injuries last year and they were pretty healthy for the most part in the beginning of the year. But if he could come back, I think he could be a huge difference maker.
Jake?
I'll go with Ashton Delmonico. He's a 3-year guy for them. Had a big jump in production from year 1 to year 2, and a bit slower this season. So, if he can have a big second half for them, it could help their depth scoring, I guess you could say. But yeah, I think he'll be my guy, especially as a veteran presence. And this is where I think this time of year is where the veteran that element comes more into play.
Yeah, I mean, I'll stick with that veteran presence. Rufus Gray on the back end, still probably one of the best overtime goals of the season from the very first showcase back in October. Let's test my knowledge. I think it was against Philly Hockey Club, actually, when we went in and beat the goaltender on the backhand. So I think he has to be the all-star that he was and really lead this team on the back end. So sticking with alphabetical order within this division, we go to HC Rhode Island next.
HC Rhode Island.
No.
Bianco
Is that your
was a guy I
pick?
liked a lot. Yeah, I mean, I saw him in the showcase, and one of the games he had a hat trick actually that I called. That was against the Apple Corps. Guy that can score in bunches. I know Coach Mello told me that Austin Haldane suffered a bad injury, and I think he's still out for a while. I would go Haldane there, but Bianco up to 19 goals, 11 assists. Big power play guy, 7 power play goals, 3 power play assists. So he's also an 04 age out. So let's go with Mike Bianco for my pick.
Neil, you should go second this time around. You've gone third both times.
Can I pick goalie again, guys? I think
Yeah.
that one feels
100%.
obvious, but I love Ryan Rhodes in that. I mean, he's when the tables get pushed on him. I mean, look at did he have 50 saves against the Express the other day? Like
Yeah.
he gave them every chance to win that game. Like
He's got a 945 save percentage.
I mean, like, it's
95%.
such the obvious answer when it comes to postseason hockey. And think about the year Jonathan Quick carried the Kings to the Cup Finals, right? Like,
Oh yeah, they were the 8th seed that year.
That it comes down to goaltending, and I think I've gained a lot of respect over Rhodes over the course of the season, because there's been games where you're like, you scroll down the box score and you're like, wow, 45 saves, 50 saves. He's giving his team a chance to win every time they take the ice. And I think for him, if he can continue to do that in the postseason, they could win the Central.
Ryan Rhodes is awesome. In that game, the shots were 18-0 in the first period. HDRI got better as the game went on, but Rhodes was in goal, and there were a couple of Express premier guys there because Cooper Gross got the premier captain, was making his debut that game.
Yep.
And they were holding up things on their phone as Rhodes was skating by, like his headshot from the league, or like asking him questions like to signal the answer with like his glove hand or his blocker. And he was playing along with every single one. And like normally
awesome.
goalies are like not doing that, but Ryan Rhodes was loving it and then making like 10 saves in between.
Wow.
So full credit to Ryan Rhodes. I can't say the subject matter of the questions.
No,
but they were good questions.
I had a feeling.
Hard hitting journalism. I'll go Jarrett Rainey Gibson. No goals in his last 10, and he was a guy that was producing big time for them earlier in the season. Just an 06. Coach Mello says he's an absolute stud, and he definitely is. But he gets the goal scoring going again. No points at all, and I think in his last 5 too. So he's definitely a guy that needs to get on his horse towards the second half of this month.
Yeah, for sure. That gets us to the New York Apple Corps next, who are, as I mentioned earlier, 6 points behind the Rough Riders. So to ask the question, who's going to be a dog to help make up that gap and get this team into the postseason? I can't pick another goalie, guys. I've already picked 2 in this division.
Lane would be a good one.
No, one of you could pick him. I'm going to go with Gage Winter.
That's where I was going to go. Damn it.
05 from New Hampshire, who's picked up the scoring as of late too.
Yep.
So I think that's what it comes down to for this team, right? If they can really pick up their scoring, and they've been in a bunch of these games recently where they've lost by a goal, 2 goals, where if some of their, call it top scorers or even secondary scorers, can pick up just a little bit, that could push them over the edge.
Maybe just because I want to say his name, Paulus Leonard's Paigla. It's because Jake taught me how to say his name correctly.
Good job. Yeah. Yeah. Nailed it.
Because for a team that's that struggles on offense, he's got 13 points in 26 games. If you can have a guy in that can bring it up the rush, activate, pinch down the wall, he's got 4 assists in his last 4 games. So if he can kind of help out the Gobles, Galantes, and Winters of the world with getting pucks into the zone and kind of helping out from the blue line with some offense, I think he could be a good difference maker.
Yeah, I'll go with Evan Mana. Age out player, older guy. This is, when experience comes in. So, I had a couple of multi-point games heading into the break, returned in their game versus the Bears. So, see if he could put together more games like that as this new year goes on. Because like you said, they're going to need goals. They have the goaltending, but they need that up front to offset that.
For sure. Then we'll wrap it up in the Central with the team in first place, with points in 9 of their last 10, I think, or it's a crazy streak that they have going. Yeah, they have 8 wins and a shootout loss in the last 9 games. So they've taken back over first place only by 2 points, but the Providence Capitals, I just went first. So Jeff, you tee us off with the Capitals.
Okay. For Stars of the Week, Caden Clegg. I know he's someone you have in fantasy this week, Neil. We'll talk about that later. That's right. He's beating his chest a little bit for you that can't see it. But him and Hansen have been they've been a dead split, 13 games apiece. Clegg's numbers are starting to get a lot better than Hansen's, though. Clegg's goals against is just over 2. Hansen's is closer to 3. Clegg stopping almost 95% of his pucks. Hansen, 915. So I think Clegg might be kind of taking that timeshare away the way he's played recently. So he's got to continue that kind of ability in the net for the Capitals, and they'll definitely go real far if he can.
Jake, do you want to go?
2-year captain Josh Coder. Love Josh Coder. He's a great guy, great leader. He's been consistently like a second line guy for them. Last time I saw them, he was playing with, I believe, Deschamps and Rudrud, and that's, I think, is very good line for your middle six. So, I like him. He does a little bit of everything for that team, special teams. So Coder to me is, kind of like a utility player. You put him in a good a position and he'll give you a good result. So I'll go with Josh Coder, 2-year captain for that team.
And I'll go Daniel Kroon. Talking about Dawg, I was watching the overtime winner he scored against the Eagles, where he literally was a dog, went and stole the puck, powered out right in the front of the net and put it home. And the last time there was a game or a box score where he didn't have a point was October 30th.
Wow.
This kid's, fantasy guys, last month of the year, let's.
Yeah, right.
Here's a possible.
Last year.
Yes. Here's a possible candidate for people picking in February. Daniel Kroon, obviously 42 points, goes a long, long way for this team. And if he can keep that going throughout the postseason, Providence can make a run here towards the Central Division title. So sticking with, again, alphabetically by division, that sends us to the East Division and then the letter B. And we start with the Boston Junior Eagles.
Eagles, yes. All right, I'm getting used to this. I'm figuring this out slowly but surely. I'm getting this.
Should I just steal your pick, Jake?
You could do my pick for me. You want to do a good Jake impression too?
Well, you would call him Riley Handsome.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. I almost just said Riley Van Handsome, and that wouldn't have made any sense.
Oh, jeez.
Sounds like a band.
Is this my pick? Or is this your pick?
My pick. I'm not letting somebody else take
okay. So
Carey.
Okay. So should I keep going, or do you want?
He's just the definition of a dog guy. He's like 6'4", like 220. He's a monster out there. If we're doing this thing on dogs, he's a German Shepherd or a Great Dane or whatever you want to do. Great Danes don't have the longest lifespan, so I'm going to give him the role of German Shepherd so we can have him for a while. But he's another guy. He's an awesome player. He does it on both sides of the puck, and he's from Long Island. It really doesn't get better than that.
I love that.
All right, Jeff.
My turn.
Yes.
A guy that's brought his offense this year, a former Express, Brady Clark. Only
Yeah.
4 assists in 33 games last year. His dad, Chris Clark, one of our biggest fans, always listens to all of our different games, chimes in on Instagram, and we love the Clark family. And Brady's found a really good home, also from York, Maine, Neil.
Oh yeah.
The state of Maine. So, yeah, I mean, if Clark can continue, he's got 17 points in 31 games. Again, he had 4 assists, no goals in 33 games last year. So he's been a really stable presence on the blue line. And if he can continue to be that way for this young Eagles team, I think they're going to have a lot of success going forward in the second half.
Yeah, so it's not fantasy yet, but I'm going to cheat because it's what I do. I'm going to pick 2, not 1. So I'm going to go with the O'Connell brothers. Obviously, from a point production perspective, they've combined for 28 points so far. And Jeff, you'll love this. Pims, they've combined for over 140.
Fresh.
So they really can set the mentality of a
Set the
game.
tone.
Yeah, set the tone of a game with the Pims. So
Right.
but again, I think they also could push the offense as well in a good way. 3 game-winning goals for Max O'Connell from the blue line. If those 2 brothers can continue to kind of push things for the Eagles, maybe they could turn this little bit of a rut that they're in around and get things going in the right direction for the postseason. Now, this is the who has to be a Dogs segment, guys. But for the Bridgewater Bandits, it could also be the who are they segment. Because I'm sorry, but is it not accurate to say that you don't really know what team you're going to get when you face them?
Jake just saw it 6-3 Bandits at Cadillac Ice Arena. Oh.
And then, less than a week later, like a flash, they go 12-2 to the Wizards.
Yes.
That is literally the definition of our "Who Are They" episode. We've done for our segment that we've done for many years.
Which
Who are they?
we're not bringing that back. We're not bringing that back.
I miss that.
I know it's like my profile picture in Justin's phone or whatever. Me at the Jeopardy desk, whatever yes. It is, right? But I just think like it's crazy. They come back from holiday break. They beat the Eagles. They beat the Express. They get shut out by the Capitals. Then they get blown out, you could say, but by the Wizards. Like you just don't really know what Bandits team you're gonna get. They just got their first commitment of the season last night. Hofa in net, going to Anna Maria College. So hopefully that's some good weight off his shoulders for that. But whoever wants to lead off here, who has to be the dog for the Bandits down the stretch to secure their spot in the playoffs and then make a run of the playoffs?
I feel like as a kid that Jake loves a lot. I've heard him talk about him. Ben Diaz is how we say it, right, Jake?
No, he's unreal. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't believe I had to double check when I was looking at some stuff last night for prep. He's only an 06.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Insane. That is absolutely insane. And a guy talk about developing his game at the junior hockey level. It's 16 points last year in all 46 games. So an Ironman played for the Bandits in every single regular season game. Has 31 points in 27 games this year. 5 power play goals, a shorthanded goal. So he kind of does a little bit of everything as a game winner. So yeah, I mean, if he can continue that scoring pace, he will definitely help the Bandits continue to stay out of the last spot, the non-playoff spot there in the East Division.
Jake?
I'll go with Christian Golick. I think he's definitely better than his numbers indicate, and he scored a really nice goal against the Express in that game, blew by a couple of their defenders with speed and beat Alex Koenig, and it's just like, wow, those are 2 things you don't ever really see. The Express D getting beat and Alex Koenig getting beat. So he's a pretty good player. He demolished his totals from his first season in the EHL last year. So I just think there's more untapped for Golick right now in the second half.
And I'll round it out with Liam Fecto, not just because he's a great interviewee multiple time, right?
One of the best. One of the best.
And not just because he's got great hair, too. He's got some tremendous
There's
hair.
a lot going on for Liam Fecto. It's a good thing if you're Liam Fecto.
Oh, wow.
Yes. but he also has 22 points in 27 games, already 6 more than he had all of last season. So if he can be that complementary piece for Ben Diaz, that could be huge for the Bandits down the stretch. So that takes care of the letter B in the East Division.
BBB.
Jake, the Wizards and the Express are both E.
Yes.
Who do we start with?
EA comes before EX.
Yeah, we're getting better right now. So
proud
we're
of you,
gonna
my son. So proud of you.
East Coast Wizards next, and I guess
Also, Dawg on this team.
I'll lead off and I'll take the easy one just because I feel we're not at fantasy yet, but he is my fantasy pick, and that's Daxton St. Hilaire, right? So was talking to a college coach yesterday. Not going to reveal who it is because obviously some of these top scorers are talking to multiple different schools. But you could say that he is really gunning to commit Daxton St. Hilaire. And he knows that it's a package deal, right? But it's a great package deal. I mean, they were 2 of the top 5 players for the Northeast All-Star team. I mean, they were tremendous in those games against Keene State and Wentworth. And of course, Daxton on his own has 47 points. And if he can continue to push the offense at this, 1.5 points per game pace, the Wizards can make a run in the postseason.
Yeah, that's a good buy one, get one there. If you
Yes.
Millsy, you can go, bud.
Yeah, okay. How about we go with the goaltending tandem, so not just one, but both in Ingram and Courier, because again, like the Capitals, they're split in time. Ingram 12 games, Courier 11. For a team that scores a lot of goals, 131 goals, these guys literally just have to give what, 2? You could give up 3 kind of a night because the Wizards average about what, 4 or 5 a game.
Yeah.
So you just have to be a dog, but you also just have to be good enough to let the Wizards offense kind of take control. So just be kind of the steadying presences they have. Ingram 9-3, Courier 7-4. Peripherals solid, 235 goals against for Courier. That's really good. 919 save percentage. Ingram goals against probably a little high for him, 275, but save percentage solid at 908. So yeah, continue to walk yourselves in the crease. Walk that down.
This is tough. Like I'm looking at this and I'm just like, I like every one of these people. And like I've seen this team like probably more than any other team besides the Express this season. I'll go Jake Murphy. I think he's just like the definition of a dog. Like the way he plays out there, reckless abandon. His PIMs went down from where they were last year. Sorry, Jeff, but he plays a physical brand of hockey. And he's been putting up numbers, especially since getting back from injury in late December. So I think when you just think of a guy who plays like a dog, you think of Jake Murphy. So I'll go with him.
Yep. Which continues us to the other team that begins with an E, the Express. And because he's been a dog all season long, we cannot pick Koenig, guys. Okay, I know he's lost his last 2, but he up until the last 2, he's been a dog all season long. So we're not gonna pick him, which leaves the rest of the roster, and we need to let Jake go first because we can't steal Jake's Express dog.
Not his team.
Oh man, Dalton Roberto. I think he's maybe the most complete defenseman in the entire EHL. His skating is great. His stick positioning is great. He plays physical. He eats shots. He joins the rush. He kicks off the offense for the Express. I mean, he's got 17 assists. That's no slouch coming from the blue line. I think I'm hard pressed to think of defensemen in the league overall that are just better than Dalton Roberto. Yeah, to me, he's just like your ideal defenseman.
Potential Doy, defenseman of the year.
Potential Doy.
Yeah,
he's my Doy right now.
Defenseman of the year.
Jeff, you want to go? You want me to go?
I don't know. I got a couple of guys.
Okay. Well, while you ponder, I'll probably steal one that you're thinking of, and that's Hudson Perry. EHLP to EHL, will be a college hockey player and will be a good college hockey player. Dog. I mean, this guy on the power play is a dog, right? He
PK.
was. Yes,
PK, he's a dog.
The PK too, right? I mean, he plays in all situations for this team as well as for that Northeast All-Star team. That's where I really got to see him shine. And I think if he can continue to be that almost X factor for this team, the Express can finally break through that kind of like what's force field, whatever it is, get themselves to Providence and win a title.
Yeah, those were the two that I was deciding between. So
Okay.
you're an intelligent man, Neil.
Yeah, we got it covered there.
Ville Bowden, too easy. Miles Kidd, love you. Norwood, we've talked a lot about Miles this year. So I can't do that. So why don't we go with someone I've talked to Jake about quite a bit and seen in the showcase games, defenseman Quentin McElligott, with how consistent he is on the back end for a team that thrives on strong defense and strong goaltending. So a guy has 9 assists, but a point that I want to make here, actually, Neil, you'll love this. We've talked about Alex Wilkinson, right, from the Oilers days. Mike, you
Oh yeah.
this
Oh
one
yeah.
about defensemen. It's actually I go the opposite of my usual love here. You want to have the least amount of PIMs possible, right? As a defenseman, that means you're not reaching, you're not lazy,
Yeah.
you're not getting hookings and trips. McElligott only has 8 penalty minutes all season, so
Yeah.
he does things right on the back end for Coach Coda, and he's got to keep barking through that blue blind for the rest of the year.
I like that. I like that.
We wrap up the East Division with the Seahawks, who I think are the definition of dogs, right? With the way that they grind every year, right?
Seriously.
So you could go any direction here. Who wants to go first? I can go first if you want me to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Corey Cashel. I mean, in front of the net, Dawg, right? I mean, I can replay that goal from Elmira over and over and over again in my head because he's not afraid to post up right there in front of the net, go into the corner, get the puck. He could shoot, he could score. Obviously, he believes strongly in the culture that they've built there down in the Cape, a returning player committed to Norwich because he plays a physical, hard game. So that's my guy.
I'm gonna go with Danny Keough. What a story he's been, right? He scared the living what out of us at the Walpole
Yeah.
Showcase, suffered a really sad injury, but nothing sad about him being able to come back. Like, what an inspiration. The guy's come back. He's got points in 10 of his last 11 games. Yesterday was the first time he didn't get a point in the last stretch since December 4th. So he's been piling up assists, 3 goals. I can't even count all the assists right now. He's got 14 on the season, but majority of his production has come as of late. So what a story there for a guy to suffer a really serious injury and be able to come back and actually has taken his game to another level since coming back from that injury. So Danny Keough, let's go. Keep it going, buddy.
Well, I gotta go with a fellow Jew, Jake Gelman, of course. Same first name, same religion. If he's a dog breed, he's not a poodle, he's a Joodle.
Yeah.
So I'll go with Jake Gelman.
Oh god.
He's a guy that has been heating up lately. I mean, he was really good in December. Coming back from break, he's been putting up points too. He's taken over Cashel as the top producer for this team. So I'll go with fellow tribesman Jake Gelman, baby.
Love that.
I mean, that is a t-shirt right
That's
there.
amazing.
He's a Joodle.
Not a poodle, but a Joodle, baby.
Oh man, we're halfway there. We go to the North Division next. Speaking of alphabetical, Jake, this is kind of clean. You get a B, 2 N's, and 2 V's for the North Division, right?
Yeah.
So we really easy to start, the Boston Dukes. And since I have to have the crutch and I've already taken goalies earlier, I'll take a goalie again. Brendan Nee. I mean, this team is going to go as far as he can take them, and obviously, you want to mention some of the games that Ryan Rhodes has had, or Liam Lane. The games that Brendan Nee has put together for the Dukes have been incredible. If he can stand on his head like that, they can make a run towards this 4th and final playoff spot.
How about a guy we just wrote a commitment story for, James Evans, off to St. John Fisher University. He'll join Seahawk Thomas Plamondon for a school that's starting their program. He's leading the team in points for a team that's struggling in the standings and but doing a lot better as of late. They are starting to feel a little better. I feel like maybe the coaching shift, something kind of shook that room up a little bit. They do have some, I know they've lost 4 in a row, but they've had some games where they were right there and could have won. But Evans, 12 points in 27 games, a guy that's already surpassed another guy that's developed his game. He had 10 points for the Spartans in 42 games last year. So he's taken his offense to another level, and good for him continuing his hockey career off to St. John Fisher next year. So he's got to keep scoring for that Dukes team.
Jake's pick is from a different country.
Oh, I know where you're going.
So yes and no. I was gonna pick I was gonna pick two for this one. I was gonna
Go
cheat.
go ahead.
So first is Owen McGillivray.
I knew it.
Yeah, he's unbelievably good.
Huge. When we just did
like,
that interview with
yeah.
him.
Yeah,
He
he's a
was
stud.
massive.
Great stick, great edges. His goal against the Express was disgusting. Short side snipe. It was awesome for his first of the year. I was actually really like grateful that I got to call it. Like you don't really get many first goals of the year in January, so I was super pumped about that. But All-Star Alex Cameron should be coming back from injury this month, so I think he's a fair boys when it comes to point per game. He is still number one on that team. It's not James Evans. It's Alex Cameron. So I think with him coming back, that's going to be big for them in this second half.
Yeah, for sure. This actually sends us next to the New England Wolves. They come just ahead of the Avalanche alphabetically because they both have new,
Dude.
but then the E comes before the H.
Yeah. What a great lesson in the alphabet today we have. We're just educating our fans.
I mean, Chase is learning the ABC, so maybe he should be home during this too to go over.
I guess he's at daycare.
Yeah.
Wow, what a great day.
I know we're sticking with leading scorers here, but I have to do it for the Wolves just because I have to remind myself constantly that he's only an 06, and that's Harry Kramer. Right. I mean, we on a previous episode, I just have his profile pulled up now. Star of the week, showcase star. I mean, what this player has done for the Wolves has been tremendous. And I think a lot of teams know that when you make that jump from P to E, there could be some, for lack of a better term, growing pains, right? Getting adjusted to the speed. Yeah. Not for him. Like not for him. He's got 21 goals and he paces the offense. So if he can keep doing that, and we know how tough of a place Laconia is to play, maybe this is the Wolves' year to win the North.
Could be. They're getting real close to the Avalanche. Real close.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go Marek Herta, a guy that I picked in defense for fantasy this month. He's doing well. He's got 7 points in his last 3 games. But in all seriousness, just another guy on the back end that's been there for the Wolves for a couple of years. He knows how to be a Wolf and how to win hockey games, and he's just a massive presence on the blue line. So he's got to continue to be what he's been for the last couple of years, which is just stabilizing, physical, and offensive for New England to be able to topple the Avalanche in the North Division.
I'll go with a more recent addition to their team, Nathan Pelletier. I don't know how exactly to say it, but he is giant. And I saw him for the first time yesterday. And at one point, like Nate Brissett, I was in the penalty box, like taking pictures. Nate Brissett looks over to me. He was like, that guy's really strong. So I think that would be a good choice. But Brendan Fields yesterday, I guess you didn't know that I worked for the Express. Because in between periods, I'm in that like upstairs room and like I'm eating like just like one of my like meal prep bowls. And he points like down and he's like, ew, what's that? And I was like, it's my protein bowl. He's like, no, your jacket.
Oh.
And I was wearing an Express jacket. And he was like, you're with them?
Yes.
I was like, yeah, sorry, man.
Ew.
Like, oh. I was like, crossed off Brendan Fields' dog list. Dog poop now, Jake.
He's a dog for saying you.
He's an absolute dog. Yeah.
Right?
Brendan Fields.
Anytime you can chirp someone for their team jacket, like, you're wearing the wrong jacket.
He's a stud. I love that. Yeah.
I like that attitude.
New Hampshire Avalanche. I just went first. Somebody else gets to go first now.
Chris Sorella. Duh.
Dog. Can't you hear him being like, I'm a dog. Right? Say me.
I know he's going to listen to this whenever we post it. He's going to listen to it about 40 minutes after. So Chris Sorella, dog. Yeah, end the show. All right, guys. See you next week. Have a good time. That's it. That's a wrap.
You can pick Chris. you can pick the coast.
I don't know. You know what? Yeah, screw it. Big city. Keep being a dog behind that bench. Use your veteran leadership. You've got 500 career wins. You've been to every Frozen Finals in your team's existence. Can you keep it? Would it be 7 straight or 8 straight now? I can't keep track of how many years they've been in the league. 7 straight? 2017, right?
17, 18. We didn't get to do 19. So 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. This would be, we've had 6 years of it. This would be the 7th.
Right. Wow. So make it 7 for 7, Big C. There you go. You're my dog. Woof.
I'll go with the man who waited until the new year to wake up. My December
Oh.
defenseman fantasy pick, Grant
Oh,
Burback,
Burback.
who
Yeah, that's
had
right.
a
Grant.
fantastic November,
Oh my
fantastic
God.
October, great September. He's already got 4 points in the new year. He had 1 point in December. Graham Burback, we checked his pulse. He's alive and well. He's committed to Arcadia. He's a stud, but he did nothing for me in December, and I will
He
never.
listened to our December episode. He was like, "Oh, it's December. What do bears do? They hibernate. I'll see you guys in a little bit." He was hibernating. That's all.
Great.
Captain Jake Hines, Dawg.
Yep.
Again, does not
Easy.
play like his size. I mean, like, I can say this because he's listed as an inch taller than me. I'm 5'8", he's 5'9". Like, he goes into every corner. He fights for every puck. He scores the first 2 goals for us against Brockport. One shorthanded, I think, too. Blanking on my memory there. But he sets the pace for this team. He is the leader of this team. He could bring this team back to Providence again. And Jake, or Jeff, I should say, to your point,
Yeah.
if they do get back to Providence, this is gonna feel like a little bit of getting the monkey off the back. They haven't won since that 18-19 season. So
That's been a minute.
yeah, they need to break that streak. So
Yep.
if they do so, I think it's gonna be because of Jake Hines. That
Dog.
gets us to the V's.
Valley.
VA before
VA.
VE.
Oh, I had Vermont on my other
Oh
laptop.
my God.
I backslid. I was doing so well.
Oh, he
A
was
B
doing
C D E A B C D E.
Oh, should we
Boy.
both just steal Jake's pick for Valley, Jeff?
Doovy?
Doovy?
You guys could take him.
No,
Whatever.
you can have him. You go first.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
can have
care.
him.
Yeah, I gotta go Andrew Duval. I'm a loyal guy, you know. He had 2 points in their first game back from the new year, so why not keep that production up? Listen, I've been high on the Warriors for a while, and
You have.
you need goal scoring up top. They haven't been the most productive team. The only point per game guy they really have is Wake Purdy. So I think production wise, they need to get going more as a whole. And Doobie's put up good numbers, especially for his first full year in the EHL as an 05, as an all-star and all that stuff. But why not get some more here as they want to create some separation with the Dukes here.
Well, that's actually where I was going to go. I don't know I'm going to have to text the veteran dog, Ryan McGrath, about Wake Purdy because he hasn't played since November the 13th against the Bridgewater Bandits. But like you said, Jake, 16 points in 16 games. Loved his interview with you at the college series. Really got to see his personality. So if he is able to come back from whatever injury he has or what's going on there, I would say he is my dog for the Warriors to keep his toward point per game pace.
I've been sticking to this college series theme. Maybe it's because those are the games I get to really step back and watch the closest. I don't know. Thomas Dukas, I could still hear that shot off the crossbar ringing through my ears. That was a bomb, Jake. We were right next to each other during that power play, and that was an absolute missile. Didn't go in, right? But I was like, wow, that caught my attention. And he's got the size. Obviously, another kid that's moved up with them, continue to be strong on the back end, and hopefully for them, at least stay in that fourth spot and then give the Avalanche a little run for their money in that first round.
Just got to make note of one more
Nice
guy,
word.
Christian Whirl. He's back.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Playing club hockey for the first half of the season. I saw him at the December showcase. I was like, how's college? He's like, oh, it's the best. Must not have been that good, I guess, if he's back.
Oh, right? Yeah,
Like,
where was he
a
playing?
mere 2 weeks later. But welcome back, C-Dub.
Go to Vermont next, and one of you can pick him later because I won't pick him. I know one of you probably will.
I think we know where you're going
Yeah,
there.
yes. I'm gonna pick Colden Lawrence because not because of whatever that joke was delivered about how it's always cold in Lawrence, and I can't. Dad jokes really eat me up.
They do.
But
Always have, always
he's
will.
also been huge for this team since he joined. 18 points in 23 games, so he's been that perfect secondary scorer to Brayson Bennett, 2005 from Rhode Island. they're in a good spot right now where they probably feel, I don't want to say comfortable in third place, but they have an 8-point cushion now over Valley. And we know for Vermont last year, it came down to literally just 1 point, keeping them out of the playoffs. So they want to be in the postseason this year. And Colton Lawrence, I think, needs to be a dog down the stretch to help get them in there.
I mean, obviously, yeah. Hey, best dude Ravin, Cam Wickens. You can't talk about the Lumberjacks without Wiki. But in all seriousness, a guy that's been an EHL lifer 3 straight years here in the EHL, has kept getting better and better every year. And his save percentage, the best of his career right now at 930, and he's played the most minutes. He's seen over 1,300 minutes, and he's made over 900 saves. The kid's going to see over 1,000 pucks. We just talked about, or I know. The Apple Corps broadcaster mentioned this on Twitter about Liam Lane being one of the first guys to save over 1,000 pucks since our boy Thomas Walker back in the day, Neil.
Oh, God.
Love you, Tommy Walker. That kid was like
Yes.
the dog.
Yeah.
We were giving out all-time dog awards, but
That's our next one.
Wiki's just got to be his usual dog self in the back of that net for Vermont, and they'll keep moving up those North Division standings and make some noise in the playoffs.
Use the Minnesota Vikings losing as motivation.
There you go. Like that. Get that skull horn or whatever the heck they use.
I'll go with Jackson never lost the board battle Duquette.
Ooh, another one of your old faves.
I mean, Coach Gustin refers to him as a dog on the regular. Like he's like, oh, Duke's such a dog. So I think that's a gimme right there. And I mean, you want to talk about like an EHL lifer, Jackson Duquette is a perfect example. You know, a year in the P now, 3 in the E. He's definitely found a good home in Vermont.
Seth is gonna love this segment. It just hit me when you said that. He's gonna love
this is right up Seth's alley.
Yeah, he's gonna love this segment. All right, Jake, we go to the South Division. The New Jersey teams obviously come first and before P. But who comes first, New Jersey 87s or New Jersey Bears?
That's a tough one. Numbers over, we're getting digits in here.
I think my gut tells me Bears. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
We're going to go with the 87s first. All right. You could go either way. For the 87s, when you can play through an injury that nobody else knows about but you against a college team and then miss time with your junior team because of that injury, you're a dog. Tyler Bradish. You're a dog.
Tyler Bradish.
He got injured in the college series and nobody knew. And he just kept going out there shift after shift, always made just the right play also.
Yeah. And he's not a big boy either at all.
Nope.
I like that. I'm going to go with not the Russian that you all think. I'm going to go with Ivan Kulagin. Used to be Cooligan, now it's Kulagin. A guy that has been in their system for a couple of years, played Premier, now thriving in the EHL with 28 points in 28 games. Because Legkoff is going to get so much pressure, the kid's still going to just pour buckets of points into his score sheet, but he's got 48 points in 21 games. Legkoff does. But yeah, Kulagin has suddenly become a point per game guy. So because all the attention that Legkoff's going to get, he's going to need to continue. Landon Adams too, so he's going to need to continue to be steadying presence. I'm not sure which line he's on now. I don't know if he's with Legkoff or Adams, but he's got to continue to keep up that point per game pace.
I'll go with the Lone Star State's Tyler Gierman. Big jump in production from year 1 to year 2 for him. You know, his headshot wearing like the square clear rimmed glasses. I think that's a good look for a dog. And he's a guy who does a little bit of everything for Coach Hooley's squad. I think Hooley really likes what he does, so I'll go with Gierman here. Yeah, Brock Faber. Wow,
that's a good one.
Good eye. Yeah, he does resemble Brock Faber.
Yeah, I know we didn't pick Legkoff. We will recognize he is averaging 2.29 points per game.
Okay? Because he's just, I don't know. That's too easy. You got to go somewhere else. He's been a dog.
Like Koenig, he's been a dog, right? So,
you got to go elsewhere.
Jake, because I think this is basically your South team. You can lead off with the Bears.
Oh,
okay.
No pressure.
I like Pat Dixon. I go
okay.
Undersized D maybe, but puts up a good amount of numbers for that team. But I think he's a pretty complete player, good personality, and I think he's good for morale after a tough December for the Bears to lead them into what hopefully going to be a productive new year that I'm predicting for them.
Great hair.
Yeah.
Oh my God, great hair. That is some flow.
Oh, yeah. Luscious. Luscious lettuce. I'm going to go with a duo. I'm a twin. The Banco twins, Chris and Mike Bankovitz. Both have been excellent this year. Guys that have been in the EHL for a couple of years with Lenny and the Apple Corps last year. Now thriving in New Jersey. Was it Michael that went from defense to forward? I believe it was.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
created all sorts of controversy or EHL fantasy, but he is listed as forward now. Just forward, not F/D. Chris outpacing his brother with points 34 to 24. But yeah, those two both need to continue to bring their veteran leadership in their age out years, and they need to continue to produce and help that Bears team stave off the 87s, who are 1 point behind them, I think, coming into today.
Yeah. You could have done two pairs of twins if you really wanted to, Jeff. You could have gone Bankovitz and Kondrashovs if you wanted to.
Oh, that's right. Condos, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with Phil Abe though. Maybe it's the combine connection for me that he was in the combine, and then I mean he was probably talked to more than any other player at the combine. So yeah, I think for me, I don't know, maybe the combine just hits close to home for me, right? That he's the picture on the graphic right now, and he's got 35 points in 30 games. We know what Owen House has been like for this team, but that next top scorer, Phil, I'm gonna go him for the Bears. So that gets us to our trio of P's. Jake, who goes first?
I got this. There's no chance. Oh my God. Hockey club. Yeah.
Huntsman.
No. Oh my God. They're Pennsylvania.
but then Philly Hockey Club.
This
Then
is
Philly
not
Hockey
good.
Club.
This
Then
is
Little
not
Flyers.
good. This is not good.
No, it's not great, but we'll go Huntsman, Philly Hockey Club, then Little Flyers. Huntsman, if I did this for Hudson Perry, I have to do the same for Ryan Arendes. P to E to college. I mean, and again, just like Harrison Kramer too. I guess I did it 3 times, right? The point production has not dropped off for him since he's made the jump. Leads the team 41 points in 26 games.
I'm gonna go with Alex Illis, a kid I saw, their goaltender. I saw him at the Haverhill Showcase. Save percentage is good at .914, record of 5-9-2. But as we've said, Neil, Jake, goaltending is so important when it comes to getting down the stretch here. So Illis really needs to. He had some good games at the Showcase. He needs to be a stabling presence for Coach Projan and that Huntsman team if they're gonna get into the playoffs.
Wrap us
I
up,
will
Jake.
go with Coach Projan himself.
Yes.
I've seen
I like
him.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. Back in Michigan, I saw him devour some dogs at a baseball game, and they say you are what you eat. So I'll go with the Glizzy Gobbler himself, Eric Projan, as a dog.
How many game misconducts? Anyways, yeah. Dog.
Wait, and now I need to know, how many dogs did Coach Projan throw down?
Yeah, like 1 brat and like I think 1 or 2 regular dogs.
Yeah, this was all before Jake fell asleep. So he could have had another one while Jake was asleep.
I was out of it at that baseball game.
All right, 2 left. We'll go Philly Hockey Club, then Philly Little Flyers. Jake, you go first.
So it is Philly Hockey Club first, right?
Yes.
I'll go with a younger guy, Ryan Fleischauer, Long Island native. Saw him at an Islander game. It's good to see a younger guy produce. I mean, he's got 9 points in 20 games, close to half a point per game pace. That's a big, strong, physical team. So for a younger guy to slot in and be a contributor in that group, I think is a big thing. So I'll go with him.
What town is he from?
I think he's from. Is it Hauppauge? Or he's from Ronkonkoma.
What?
Yeah,
That's like, I remember that. That's a train stop on the Long Island.
That's iconic.
Boulevard.
Yeah, no, if you're a Long Island, you're this is the train to Ronkonkoma. Is like the big thing on the LIRR. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can hear that voice, Jake. That just brought me back.
Well, the guy who recorded that just died.
Oh, what?
R.I.P. Voice of Long Island.
Job opening?
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
That's
That's
dark.
morbid.
That's all right. That's really dark. Anyways, moving on.
Gambling
I'm gonna
problem?
go. I'm gonna go with Nick Vincone. I think that's how
Okay.
we say it.
Yeah.
Or yeah, Vincone. He leads the EHL in goals, 25 of them. And for a Philly Hockey Club team that has a differential of +5, they play a lot of close hockey games. They send a lot of games into overtime. A couple more extra goals, a couple more dog-like efforts from Nick Vincone in the second half will maybe give Coach Barty Party a little bit of ease on the bench and less
Yes.
overtime for Philly.
Yeah.
Maybe
Audible
playoffs.
mention eats pucks like a dog. Adam Bartholomew, right? He would say that.
Ah,
He would say that, right? But I'm gonna go with the guy who shoots pucks like a dog.
Mikes.
Yeah. Sorry. Connor Movali. I mean, just again, sticking with that college series theme, I can still see him stepping into that
Have you seen
blast.
his picture? That is the definition of a
Oh,
dog.
dog.
Very
Dog.
intimidating.
Connor Movali, dog. Wrap it up with the little Flyers. We'll kind of snake draft this where I go first because I just went last. A recent addition for them, 05, really just got there in December. Charles Antrilli. He's got 10 points in his first 9 games, so he's been huge for them. And the little Flyers are historically dogs in the second half. He may be why.
Like that. So who went second? Is it Jake or is it me?
I think you're up, Jeffy.
Yeah.
My turn. Great. Love it. Let's go with Cyril Yabusek, a guy that ripped my heart out for fantasy last night. Power play goal. Sent Dan into the win. Cool. Thanks, Cyril. Appreciate it. But Cyril's been a really good player. He's been in the EHL for 3 years now. Little Flyers, Rangers, and then back to the Little Flyers. And he's enjoying his return home to Philly. Guy that had single-digit points in 22 and 23, 8 points, 3 points, 25 points this year in 27 games. Really active defenseman, huge size, can't teach size, 6'4", 195 pounds. So he's going to be really important for Coach Catron, Alo, and the rest of the Philly Little Flyers down the stretch.
Closest player they've had since Zeke Moroz, defenseman like that,
Zeke,
right?
big dog,
Big dog,
massive.
tired dog too. Go on, Jake.
I mean, if we want to talk about dogs, you could talk about a captain who decided to donate bone marrow for the sole reason of being a good human being and wanting to help somebody, Christian Kinsler.
Yeah.
It only helps that his production has improved as the season has gone on as well. So as the months have gotten colder, Kinsler's gotten hotter. But there's, I mean, that's a tremendous person right there, and that's a dog.
Yeah. We're up against our hour, so we're going to wrap this up now with fantasy.
Now it's time for the E-Show Fantasy Challenge. Follow along on the EHL app. Available now for free on both Apple iOS and Android.
So as always, fantasy is brought to you by DraftKings and playoffs. We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Are you ready to place your first bet? Well, try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers. Get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Do you have a gambling problem? If so, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, you can call 877-8-HOPENY, or you can text HOPENY, which is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is also available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. You can void that if you're in Ontario. Bonus bets do expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
I'm not cheating, guys. I'm not. You can watch how I do the points every day. Just happen to be in first right now. I do feel kind of bad.
Good at this thing.
I kind of feel bad for Ray Weimer, because he got off to such a great start, but Adirondack just hasn't played another game since then. They had that 3-3 with Vermont, which led to all those points, and he just hasn't moved because of that, right?
He's only 1.2 behind you. He still got it.
But I need both of you to pass Sergei Fedorov, guys. He's beating both of you.
Yeah, do we figure out who the heck that actually is? Who's the funny guy? Who's
It's Sergei Fedorov.
Yes.
So, a lot of guys, popping off so far this month, though. Ville Bowden, obviously the big one, 28
Yeah, boy.
points so far this month. Every time I open an Express box score, it feels like he's involved in every goal that they score. So
28 points for number 28 right now.
Oh, I like that.
Jake, where's Zach Spakuza? I see 2 points.
Yeah. Oh, what a dap up yesterday. We're like the
Zachary.
Jordan Pippen of the EHL, and it was
Yeah.
just incredible.
Zachary needs to. Let's go. Come on, turn it on. Gas, please.
All gas.
I need it.
So-
No break.
We're halfway through the month, so I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but would like to keep this position and punch my ticket for the second straight year. In the
I
round of
remember
champions.
November 9th when I was in first place. I lost something once.
Oh. I'm there too, Jake. It sucks.
Sitting pretty at 22 right now. But like I got all my friends with me. It's like SpongeBob when he's got like the napkin and like the potato chip. Like that's how I feel like with my express picks. Like we're not doing great, but we're all right.
We're having a good time.
We're having a good time.
Chilling.
You're in the perfect position just to strike.
Yeah, no, I'm still confident. Like the Express have a ton more games. Alex is Alex, so I'm feeling good.
For sure. Know what to watch for this week, because really it's just watch for all the dogs, right?
Yeah.
For all these players that we mentioned, hopefully leading their team to more points when points are at a premium right now in the EHL down the stretch. If you can't make it to watch the games in person, as always, tune in on Flow Hockey, and we'll give some updates on some dogs next week.
Can't wait. Woof woof.
Thanks for listening to The E Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Learn more about us at easternhockeyleague.org and follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. Also, be sure to subscribe and get notified when our next podcast episode is released.